Well, it looks like we were able to survive the new year. Give yourself a pat on the back there, champ. It'll be okay. So it looks to be that the long-dreaded sequel of 2020 is upon us, given all the crazy shit that's happened in just a matter of a week. So to distract us all from the horrors that this year could possibly bring us, I thought I'd go through my old stockpile of dead topics and turn it into a video, and find a topic I did. So find a nice spot on the rug while I tell you about the rapid downfall of the beginning and the friend. For those of you who actually know what I'm talking about, hi, hello, I'm Sam, nice to meet you. But for those who don't know what the hell a beginning or a friend is, you're in luck, because unlike the regular Citizen video, I'm actually willing to give God's briefest summary on today's topic. Here we go. Ed's World was a webtoon on Newgrounds made by a British dude named Ed Gould, who also voiced the I Like Trains kid from Astif movie.
I like trains.
It's honestly quite shocking how few people know about that. Anyway, the official YouTube account for Ed's World was created in March of 2006, and a heavy stream of animated content of 3 British guys and at one point a Norwegian guy would follow, as the show would go on for more than a decade. Unfortunately, halfway through the production of the episode Space Face, Ed Gould passed away after an almost year-long battle with cancer. Yes, I'm bringing this up for a reason, it will be relevant later, I promise. After Ed passed away, control of the show would fall onto his 2 friends, Tom, yes that one, and Matt, who would continue the show, before wrapping the series up in a neat little bow where the aforementioned Norwegian guy came back and using a giant robot blew up the British guy's house, nearly killing one of them and himself, and actually killing somebody in the process. Rest in peace, John Arbuckle. The 2-part episode was originally meant to signify the end of Ed's World, as after that, Tom would hand control of the show over to Matt and Ed's family, and at that point, it seemed like the show had finally reached its end. Until Matt gathered a team of animators and officially rebooted the series in 2020 with Ed's World Beyond, which would continue after the events of the end. But that's not what we're here to talk about. No. We're going back to before all of this happened. To the far-off year of 2017. Where a group of individuals, who I will only name when their names become relevant, sought out to do what many of us wanted to do at the time. Continue the story of Ed's World in their own fan comic. And thus, on October 27th, 2017, the Twitter account for the Beginning and the Friend comic was created, and announced that the comic would officially begin releasing pages on November 3rd, 2017. I have no idea if they followed through on that promise though, because half of Chapter 1 was deleted on their Twitter. Now that you're all caught up, let's get to the point of this video. I'm not here to review the comic. I could go on about how the art and writing is good/bad, but frankly,
I don't give a shit! I don't give a shit!
instead, we're going to be turning our spotlight to the more problematic elements within the comic itself and the creators that made it, covering the aspects that I personally know the best about and am absolutely confident in my knowledge of. I'll be dividing this video into 2 segments, the issues in the comic and the issues outside the comic. Now, I know that there was a big old disclaimer sequence at the start of the video, but I just want to reiterate this right here and right now before we dive headfirst into this pile of slop. Do not, and I mean do not, go after anybody that's mentioned in this video, or the team itself. Considering the fact that most of these issues go as far back as 4 to 5 years ago, I'm almost 100% sure and sincerely hoping to God that these people have changed. I hold no personal malice to the creators of this comic, and while I personally don't like it, that won't stop me from trying my absolute best to be as unbiased as I possibly can in this regard. Although, don't be surprised if I throw my Yule hog into the ring when it comes to certain topics. This is not meant to be a call-out post. I think we have enough of those already. This is a simple video essay documenting certain controversies of a dead project that I just so happen to know a lot about. Treat it as such. Alright, with that out of the way, let's rumble. Alright, I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room right here and right now and never mention it again. So if you're uncomfortable with this topic in particular, feel free to skip to this time period right here. You've got 10 seconds. Go. Alright, time's up. What you're looking at is Chapter 3, pages 21 and 22, where Ed is seen dragged away by anime girls and... I don't think I need to say anything because it's right there and just look at it. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to describe this. No, it's fucking weird. That's all I need to say. These panels, understandably, caused an uproar in the Ed's World community, and the crew defended the panels, explaining that the interaction was consensual, and that Ed reacted the way he did because he didn't want to be made fun of for it. and while explaining this, revealed that they were going to have a callback to the panels, where in Chapter 9, Tord calls Ed out on passing his phone number to one of the girls. I wonder how that worked out for them. Now, there was a counterpoint brought up to this to try and show that the community had a double standard by saying Ed also used to make these jokes. So, let's compare. These 2 pages were released in 2018. The crew, like I said, swore up and down, left and right and center that what happened to Ed was consensual, and that he enjoyed it, planning to bring it up again. Ed's jokes were in 2007, more than a decade ago. And even then, he would go on to express that he regretted the joke, and in 2011 would make a post on Tumblr talking about distaste for jokes of that nature, which shows that he did in fact change since then. However, as much as I hate to say it, these 2 panels do help me in a way when it comes to writing the script for this video, in providing me a transition to the next post-comic critique of this comic. I'm not even gonna say anything, you can just see for yourself. Yeah, moving on. Specifically in Chapter 7, Part 1, page 78, where Ed is seen wearing a fortune teller's outfit, which is based on a racial caricature of Roma people, which is something I actually didn't know about prior to research. But then again, I didn't know about this either. This was released for Thanksgiving of 2017, which was meant to promote the comic. Yes, that is Matt dressed up as a Native American. Yes, that is Paul and Mark also dressed up as Native Americans. Yes, that is the team acknowledging the fact that it's culturally insensitive and still going through with it. Do I need to say anything else? The Ed's World fandom had a rather bad habit of not separating the characters within the show Ed's World from the people the characters were based on. It's not as bad as it was anymore, I think, but it used to be just so much worse. So much worse. The Ed's World team at the time was very, very, very vocal to the community about separating the characters in the show from the people in real life. And in a deleted Twitter post that is now lost to the sands of time, Ed's World Legacy animator Paul Tervord explained his stance on the matter, saying he was okay with the character Paul being featured in fan art, but to leave his wife out of them, as she has nothing to do with Ed's World as a whole. But that didn't stop the beginning of the Friend, however, from including her in the comic as a cameo. Right here! This was something the team also swore in all directions of the compass was just a random woman to distract Paul. But how can you even trick yourself into believing that? And that's not even the only time they did this, which is what some people would call a transition. Yeah, they included Paul's wife in this Halloween fan art of the Red Army. Enough said. I'm sure you've noticed with the transition that we're not going to be talking about the comic anymore. We're going to be talking about the crew behind it now. And let's just say you're in for a bit of a treat. So I won't stall this any longer. Let's go. The beginning of the Friend crew had not too great of a track record when it came to handling criticism, with the most common response to it being to block them outright and calling the people that criticized them deadheads. Now, where have I heard that one before?
Submit a toast to Nicholas Alexander.
I'm getting off track. The name. If you're confused as to why that's bad, you know how people would, give a silly name to their subscribers back in the early days of YouTube to, build a connection with their community? Well, Ed Gold had a name for his fan base, Edheads. And now I'm sure you can see the problem and why I brought up the fact that Ed had passed away. And this isn't even, some accusation that was brought against them. We know about this because they just publicly posted it on their fucking Tumblr page. Hi, this is Editing Sam here. I was going through some information on the beginning in the Friend account to make sure that I had all my facts straight, and I found this on the reference that I was using. It really speaks for itself. They had no shame about it, and you know it. Jesus Christ. Oh, this is something I'm going to be so biased about. Around July of 2019 is when the pressure really started ramping up, when the beginning of the Friend crew's actions started becoming more common knowledge, and is when I would say the point in which the hate for the crew and the comic reached its peak. And nowhere else did this ring true than in the Eddsworld Amino. Now, if you don't know, Amino is a fandom/art-based social media platform where you could join multiple communities which would be confined to one single app. But if your community would grew popular enough, you could have your own independent app for that community, which is what the Eddsworld Amino received at one point. Of course, the Beginning and the Friend would have a presence on the Amino, which according to them went well. But of course, given how I explained the way they handled criticism, this means that their methods carried over to it as well. And let's just say, after a while, the Eddsworld Amino started getting pretty sick of it, especially after the community learned that the Beginning and the Friend was openly breaking guidelines. Not to mention the whole hate reaching its peak thing. This environment of unease would linger on until it finally hit a breaking point. In August of 2019, the Eddsworld Amino moderators reached out to the crew to confront them about their conduct on the Amino itself, which the crew proceeded to ignore, which led to their account receiving a strike. Now, the way strikes work is that you are locked out of your Amino account, which means that you can't do anything on it at all. However, people can still interact with your content. And so, when the community was made aware of the strike, oh my god, all hell broke loose. The comments on their posts were flooded, their wall, which was basically just Steam page comments, was flooded with memes and copy pastas galore, and it was glorious. This may not seem like much, but after such a long period of time of having our criticisms against them be censored, this was liberating. This onslaught would go on for 5 long days, finally ending with the Beginning and the Friends account being permanently banned from Eddsworld Amino, which was celebrated all throughout the community. In the aftermath of them getting banned from Amino, their Discord server, oh yeah, side note, they have a Discord server of their own, went into complete lockdown, keeping anyone from joining the server. And according to Amino user Tatsquirt, who had infiltrated the Amino at the time, a ban wave as well. When asked about the Amino, they stated that they deleted the app, due to it becoming too much for them to handle as well as consuming phone battery. Now, I could just go on and say that they very clearly lied because it's right there. I have a theory. I think they were telling the truth. Well, kinda. What I personally think happened is that they did delete the app, but they only did it when they realized that the Eddsworld Amino moderation team confronted them, and instead of either A, talking to them, or B, deleting the account, they jumped ship and watched it all burnt down until eventually being put out of its misery. But what's my evidence? Well, during the whole striking sequence, the moderators gave the crew at least 24 hours to respond before slapping them with another strike, giving them a chance to plead their case. What's interesting is that not only did they continue to ignore the moderation team, but activity on the page as a whole just seemed to stop completely, which has drawn me to this conclusion. But hey, that's just a theory. Again! The next piece of criticism is targeted at one specific person in the crew, Jax. Jax was a moderator for the official Eddsworld Discord server at one point, and one day just said this to someone talking about their birthday. Now, this is something Jax swore up and down is fake, with the person who posted the image responding by posting proof that it was in fact real. They were also 14, so, oops. According to rumors, the Beginning and the Friend crew was in talks with Matt in regards to giving them the rights to Eddsworld, so that they could produce and sell the Beginning and the Friend merchandise. However, during these conversations, Matt found a rather scandalous piece of fan art featuring Tord that I, for obvious reasons, will not be showing. After discovering this, he shut down all discussions on the matter and requested the art to be taken down, to which, to the crew's credit, they did, and that was that. Until a DM was leaked where Ken's called Matt a fucker for discovering the art. Honestly, the jokes write themselves here. After all was said and done, the Beginning and the Friend would continue posting comic panels, making it up to the end of Chapter 8, and then announcing a long hiatus in July of 2022, promising to return. And that's where the video would have ended. In fact, I don't think this video would even exist if Christmas didn't come nearly 15 days early in the form of the Beginning and the Friend account making posts on all sites they were active on, officially declaring the comic's cancellation, which was met with a resounding And this single post would finally give me the motivation I needed to get off my ass and make a video compiling everything I knew about this stupid fucking comic's downfall that was 4 years in the making. And I can say with confidence that I will never ever be making a video like this ever again. Except for maybe on him, because that's a whole other roller coaster ride that I was obsessed with. Alright, let's have a look. Alright, before the video ends, I just want to thank Salad the Troll for helping me with research, as well as the beginning and the friend callout Tumblr blog, which is where I got most of my information from. If you're ever interested in looking into this topic yourself, that is a fantastic place to start. Their respective pages will be linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, Happy New Year again, and good night.